coach. Welcome home.
Thank you.
Take us through, I guess, the last couple of weeks from a player's perspective with the Socceroos. Obviously, been a fair bit of change, starting with the new head coach.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, it's always, an interesting time and probably somewhat an unnerving time when there's a change of coach from a player's perspective, because you never know what's going to happen. But, it's something that I've been, accustomed to now throughout my career, being a bit more experienced. And, yeah, obviously with Arnie's departure, it's one of those ones where, it's obviously a new coach coming in, fresh faces, and I think everyone just has to look at it as, I guess kind of a fresh start and a fresh perspective to really stamp their authority on the team under a new coach. And, it's going to be fresh opportunities for players. And, yeah, it's just one of those ones where you really got to try and refocus and reevaluate, I guess the individual effort that you're putting in and making sure that you're at the right level. And yeah, that's going to happen over the next few days.
Expected? What was the players' reaction when you found out that Graham was stepping
No,
down?
no one knew it was coming or expected it. And obviously, it's, I guess, a bit of a sad time because it's been, 6 years with Arnie in charge, and we've achieved some amazing things together. So, it's, I guess, sad to see that chapter end, but this is football and this is what happens. And now we have to refocus in the middle of qualifying in a really important stage.
When did the players actually find out? Obviously, in the press conference afterwards, you sort of alluded to it a little bit, and have you spoken to him at all?
Yeah, it's probably maybe less than 24 hours before the public knew, and we had the conversations with him, and he said pretty much the same thing. He's a very open person, said the same things he said to us as he said to the camera, and yeah, that was it. So yeah, like I said, now it's we have to, I guess, be happy for what we were able to achieve with Arnie, but it's such a short turnaround from the last camp to this camp, and this is such a big 2 games coming in for the next qualifiers. So we really have to, just focus on the job at hand.
What do you expect from Tony? I mean, you've obviously got a limited time here, but do you expect a style change, or I guess what do you expect in broad terms?
Look, I don't know, to be honest, because it's it's my first day in camp, and obviously with such a short turnaround from the last camp to this camp, I would say it's probably a difficult time for a coach to come in and really stamp his style of play and everything like that. So, I'm sure he's got the plan and everything's set in stone, and us as players, it's about just getting in, learning as quickly as possible, and trying to implement that. But I think we have a very good squad and good players and very motivated players to obviously make up for what's happened in the last 2 games, and I think you'll see a very different probably mentality coming into these 2 games.
Tony did the other day, just kind of touching on the mentality that, I guess, the mental state of the team is something that he wanted to focus on, building that confidence in the way that the players play. Is that something that you agree with at the moment? Is he still in that confidence?
Yeah, look, to be honest, I wouldn't say so in particular. Look, obviously the last 2 games weren't great, but I think nobody can question, especially over Arnie's tenure, the mentality of the team, the work ethic of the group, and especially the pride in coming in and representing your national team. What we were able to achieve at the World Cup, and some of the games that we've played, I think we've always seen that Aussie DNA and that pride, and I think the last camp was just obviously a very disappointing one, and not the performances that we expect from us as a playing group. So we know that we have to change those things, but yeah, definitely again coming in with new coaches, the results as it happened, it's now a real chance to obviously reset and refocus.
What are your observations of Popper just from playing against his teams in the A-League and just observing the way he has gone about it as a coach? He's obviously a pretty big figure in our game.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's had great success wherever he's been. I've not worked with him yet, but obviously get the chance to now. But coming up against his teams are always well organised, very difficult to play against. And you can see he's a winner. He's a winner as a coach. His mentality, his answers in his interviews. So, if he can install that similar I guess, mindset within the group of that real winner mentality. That's going to help us. But again, I'm as excited as everyone else to find out how it's going to go.
Really, a game here sort of been your baby a little bit. How proud is it for you to finally get to play for the Socceroos in South Australia?
Yeah, very proud. I've been quite vocal about it over the last couple of years, trying to get one here. So yeah, really happy that we've been able to get the game here in Adelaide. And I will enjoy it. I'll enjoy playing in front of my friends and family. But at the same time, you know, the importance of the game is huge now, especially with the first two results. So it adds to the occasion, and you know, it makes it, I think, even more memorable for me, knowing that I have to really put in a good performance.
7 South Aussies squad as well. What does it say about the standards of South Australian football that we've got so many representing us in the national team?
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing. I think over the years there's been a lot of South Australians within the squad, and you know, there's even a few boys that missed out on this squad as well, whether it's through injury or not selected. So you know, South Australia has always been a great talent pool for the national team, and I think with a lot of the young players that are at Adelaide United in particular now, they'll be here at some stage in the future too. So hopefully it's a common thing in the future as well.
A couple of new players as well to the squad for their first Socceroos squad. That's also one benefit, I guess, for the Socceroos. Yeah,
of course. Obviously, having the fresh faces come in, and you know, having them being able to bring and add something different to the team. But like I said, with it being such a fresh start, and you know, it's a chance for every player to try and prove themselves as well. So nobody's spot is ever safe when you're in the national team, and now it's up to us again to be able to prove for young players and older players, prove to the new coaching staff that we want to play.
It's been 7 years since the Socceroos have been here. What are you expecting from the South Australian people tomorrow night? Thursday night.
I expect a packed out stadium. To be honest, I think, like you said, it's 7 years. It's few and far between, but there's been some good, I guess, marketing and everything been put in to the city at the airport. There's some very nice posters and everything. You can feel that there is a bit of a different vibe in it, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to a really good atmosphere. And like I said before, it's this game now is it's a big fixture. It's a really important game for us, and it's a great chance for the South Australian public to come out and see so many South Australian players as well.
Have you seen yourself around yet? There's a big picture of you and the domestic arrivals. I don't know about international.
Yeah, no, I did see it, and my wife's got a little photo of my son hugging the photo on the wall as well. So no, I've seen some of it, and it's yeah, like I said, nice to have that marketing around the city.
Just personally, how's that club season going for you? It's your first proper pre-season for a while. You've got over a couple of years, but how are you physically and I guess mentally over there?
Yeah, feeling really good physically. Yeah, it has been my first pre-season in a while. I think you know, I broke my rib at the back end of last year, and there's never a good timing to do an injury, but the last 3 years I've had injuries during the off season and the pre-season, so I've not been able to do that. So timing wise, getting it at the end of the season with a couple months to go has probably helped me get a really good foundation in the off season, and I'm feeling really fit and strong, and mentality wise feeling really good. It's been a reasonable start to club life in Saudi. The competition's only getting better and better with the quality of players that they're signing. So yeah, I'm in good condition, and hopefully can bring that into this game.
Just off the pitch, I mean, you've got a young family and whatever. How have you settled into Saudi? Obviously, there's a bit of a mystique about the country from Australia's point of view, but yeah, just lifestyle-wise.
Yeah, lifestyle-wise, it's been good. You know, we're in a compound that has maybe 300 villas. People from all over the world in similar boats coming there for work, and families there. So it's you know, it's very different to life in Australia, life in Europe. But you know, we're enjoying it as much as we possibly can, and yeah, it's not so bad.
When you left the Reds, and you said at the time that wouldn't be the end, and maybe at the end of your career you'd look to come back. Is that something you still got on your mind?
Yeah, obviously. Adelaide holds a special place in my heart, and Adelaide United does as well. So, you know, if there's the opportunity in the future, we'll see when that comes. But, you know, for now, I've taken this opportunity to really test myself against the best players in some of the best players in the world and in a strong competition, and I'm enjoying that challenge. I've got another season left to go there, but it's going well, so we'll see what happens. Whether I leave at the end of this season is something to think about, but at the moment I'm enjoying myself.
What are you expecting from China on Thursday night?
Yeah, look, I think it'll be a different kind of game against China to the first two games that we played against Bahrain and Indonesia. I think China's going to come out and try and play a little bit more, or be a little bit more aggressive in that way. But it's something that we have to, it sounds cliche, but we have to focus on ourselves. We have to focus on how we want to play. It's our home game. We have to take the game to them, and we have to be aggressive in our play and play at a high tempo and really try and set the tone.
Does that suit you, especially if you look at the World Cup and especially towards the Japan game? You always perform well against the bigger sides. Does that sort of suit you guys a bit more aside from that?
Yeah, I think so. But again, if there are times where they do sit in, then we have to be good in our tactics and good on the ball as individuals. So whatever China's going to throw at us, we have to be prepared and follow the game plan that the coach has put out. And I'm confident in the squad that we have, and obviously with the coaches that we have, that we can do something special.
Has there been much of a chance for reflection on what went wrong in the last window, just because of the coaching change? I imagine maybe the analysis that would typically take place. Maybe have you thought about it individually?
Yeah, I think probably most of us would have thought about it individually and self-reflected, looked at the way that perhaps we performed as individuals. Obviously, there's always things that you can look at tactically, but first and foremost, we have to look at ourselves. And we know that the performances across the two games weren't good enough and weren't at the standard that we know that we can provide and have provided over the last 2-3 years. So, I think, again, like I said, with fresh coaches coming in, it's a great chance to really refocus and analyse as individuals, as players, as are we hitting the targets that we need to be hitting, and just having that self-reflection. So yeah, for me, I've done that, and I'm sure all the other boys as well. But we speak to each other away from camp as well. We speak to each other after the camp, and we've spoken about it as a playing group too. So we know that it needs to be better from the last two camps, but we have to look at it in a positive way as well.
Would you say there's greater pressure on the boys given how important these two games are after the last results?
Yeah, there probably is a little bit more pressure, but to be honest, pressure is a privilege, and we have to rise to that. And there is no greater pressure than playing for your national team and trying to qualify for a World Cup, playing at major tournaments. So we know that pressure's there, but that's professional football, and we have to thrive off that.
Are you guys still expecting automatic qualification? Are you expecting to catch Japan and Saudi Arabia come the end of the third round?
Yeah, look, of course, we still want to qualify directly, but I think the key here is to take it game by game. Again, a little bit cliche, but we have to focus on China over the next few days, and then once we've gotten through that, hopefully with 3 points, we go on to Japan. And we've only played 2 games out of 10, and I think there is a chance to qualify directly, but we have to make sure that we're doing the right things day to day and doing everything to the best of our abilities, and hopefully we'll be in that position.